What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Saturdays Only. First and foremost, just want to thank you guys just for all the support and all the views and everything in the last video. Truly made my day. Dream come true. Being able to have a football podcast. Read y'all's comments. Gonna refine on some things. Saw y'all just all the recommendations and everything. But yeah, today we are just gonna hash through some transfer portal updates overall. We're first gonna go through Texas and Sark. Man, pretty big get right here. Cam Coleman today committed to the Texas Longhorns. He's the number 4 overall prospect in the transfer portal, the number 1 receiver, 5-star, was a 5-star in high school, 5-star in the transfer portal. He's an absolute dog, 6'3", 200 pounds, had a great season with Auburn this year. Probably one of the most explosive receivers in all of college football. We've seen the tape. We've seen what he's done. Of course, he had that horrible fumble in the Alabama game, Iron Bowl last year. But we're going to see what he does with some real development. He got a bag, from what I heard, $2.5 to $3 million. Of course, A&M was in play. You had Texas Tech and Bama. But, obviously he committed to Texas. This is huge for the Texas program. Obviously, they've had a lot of transfers. A lot of people transferring out. You had Jamie French commit to Michigan today. Parker Livingston left. But they were making room for this guy right here. I feel like Arch Manning, this is your main weapon. He's a beast. I feel like he's just been lacking a true number 1 quarterback on a roster. And that is exactly what Texas is going to give you. We all see the tape. Arch Manning improved so much through that season. And early on, he looked rough, but man, towards the end, he was cooking. I know, it's crazy. He was cooking. I'm really excited to see what this Texas roster keeps doing. And obviously, another huge update. Hollywood Smothers, man. Alabama's burning, right? I'm gonna say it. Matt Moscona, if y'all watch Matt Moscona LSU, Baton Rouge. Hollywood Smothers today flipped from his transfer commitment from Alabama to Texas, which is crazy because Texas just got a running back commit out of the Arizona State running back, Raleek Brown, I'm pretty sure is his name, and now you got an explosive running back in Hollywood Smothers. This offense for Texas is going to look scary this upcoming year. I am really, really excited to see what happens with this Texas offense. Obviously, the offensive line needs some more work. Obviously, you're going to need to make sure that the defense is also, complementing the offense. But you got Will Muschamp as your defensive coordinator. All my Texas fans out there, I would be really, really excited to what these players are going to offer to the team. Obviously, Texas has NIL dollars, so they're going to be able to go after and get these guys. But this is a huge pickup for the Texas Longhorns. And most importantly, right now, I just want to get into Alabama. Man, not even as an LSU fan, I'm going to say it. It's looking rough. The amount of transfers that they've missed out on or have lost in the transfer portal, it's been huge. Obviously, Cam Coleman was the guy you were going after. And then you miss on him, he commits to Texas. Right after he commits to Texas, you see Hollywood Smothers. He's like, okay, I'm committed to Bama. I'm probably getting about, $1 million. Let's, get, how about $1.5 million, $1.8 million. Goes out to Austin, commits to the Texas Longhorns. Really bad look for Kalen DeBoer in the Alabama Crimson Tide. Just some quick hitters. The players that they missed that have left. Right here, you got James Smith, absolute beast of an offensive lineman, 6'3", 297. It's just crazy that Bama, they haven't been able to hit in the transfer portal yet. And what's sad, obviously not sad as an LSU fan, but just from the perspective of watching this sport, Alabama is no longer that team that is like constantly top 3 conversation, will get all the recruits, top prospects, whatever. You're losing guys that are former 5-star, former 4-stars, top 5 in their class. It's crazy. It's just crazy to believe. You know what I mean? So you got James Smith. Big one was Isaiah Horton. Absolute beast in the red zone this year for Ty Simpson, the Crimson Tide. 6'4", 208. Just an absolute monster. He's the second best receiver in the portal. This guy's probably going to commit to Texas A&M later today or tomorrow. Obviously, because Texas A&M missed out on Cam Coleman, that sweepstakes, the amount of NIL dollars that were being thrown in his face, man, absolutely stunning. Just crazy. You know what I mean? Just going down the list of a lot of players that they lost. They also lost Kelby Collins, who just today committed to play for the South Carolina Gamecocks with his brother. He was a 97 overall grade in the transfer portal. He's a top 15 player. And then Kwarusaw, who still hasn't made his commitment yet, but another huge edge player, starter for that defense. This Alabama defense is looking rough, especially because you look at their transfer grades, they're not getting these insane guys. Hollywood Smothers was their number one player in the portal, and he just flipped to Texas. Not good look at all for the guys in Tuscaloosa. Really, really surprised with what's going on, you know. They're just, you know, they're pivoting to a lot more backups and, you know, the portal options of players in lower level schools who can maybe develop, but not looking good. Right here, right now, this is the way it's going. You're looking at an 8-win, 9-win Alabama team. They snuck in to the playoffs this year, got a lucky win with Oklahoma. Man, really, really rough for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Next, let's pivot for all my LSU Tiger fans. Obviously, we had a video yesterday about some of the portal targets. So we talked about Sam Levitt. We talked about Hussan Longstreet, and we talked about Damon Wilson. So we're going to pivot to some of these Ole Miss guys who've entered the transfer portal. A really big one is Ethan Fields, 6'3", 320. He was a starting offensive lineman interior for the Ole Miss Rebels this past season. Obviously, he's not graded as a transfer portal since he just entered. But this is definitely a guy that Lane Kiffin is going to go after. Really, really solid option for that offensive line that you're building as an LSU team. One of the worst units in all of Power 4 football last season. All my LSU fans know how horrible it was to watch a great quarterback. And I saw it in the comments. Man, if you had Tom Brady in that offensive line, man, he'd be getting killed. If Nussmeier just had that offensive line from last year, you know, with Garrett Dellinger, Will Campbell, John Emery Jr., Emery Jones Jr., you know, all those guys, I feel like they would have been able to, you know, be a lot better offensively, you know, because that's really the backbone of the offense is the offensive line. And Ethan Fields can really, really support the offensive line for LSU. You obviously missed on a couple guys in the portal, but we are targeting a big target out of Kentucky. I don't have him up on here. I'll probably make a video later on. But Ethan Fields is a big, big target. Obviously, another guy that we're going to be talking about is Winnie Watkins, a.k.a. Winston Watkins, true freshman. I actually don't know what his intangibles are. Every single, you know, site says different things. ESPN, he says he's 6'2". On3 says he's 5'9". 247 right in the middle says he's 5'11". I'm just going to go with 5'11", 6 foot, whatever. But he's a beast. Winnie Watkins is a beast. I'm really, really excited to see. He's currently on visit in Baton Rouge for the LSU Tigers. I'm excited to see what you know, this receiver room is looking like. Obviously, if you've been keeping up with the transfer portal, LSU currently has 7 receiver commits in the transfer portal. A lot of guys, a lot of bodies. Completely rebuilding the room, which I'm completely fine with as an LSU fan, because this past year, man, we had Aaron Anderson, we had Barrion Brown, we had Xavion Thomas, we had Kyle Parker, we had Chris Hilton Jr., we had Nick Anderson, and really nobody, you know, established themselves as the clear number one guy who could create. I mean, everyone was expecting it to be Aaron Anderson, but he was hurt all year. The guy who stepped up the most was Xavion Thomas. He really surprised me this past year, but I'm really hoping that this receiver room, and if we add Winnie Watkins, which he's on visit right now, would not be surprised if this guy visits, the way that he's been posting on his Instagram and Twitter, the way he's been, you know, kind of, you know, using propaganda for the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge. I would not be surprised if this guy, you know, cuts him out a starting role. And also, I just want to say huge props to Nick Anderson for not entering the transfer portal yet. I really hope he doesn't. I mean, he had a great freshman year at Oklahoma 2 years ago. Really good big body. You know, I feel like he can really carve himself out a role. I just feel like he was injured and just, you know, was buried in a really deep receiving room this year. But let's not, you know, get too squirmy with the way that the LSU receiving room is looking. People are like, well, there's too many receivers. Everybody's just going to transfer out next year. That's completely fine. We're trying to find those guys that are going to be plug-and-play starters and going to be really, really useful for this offense. But on the same note, a guy that I do not have pulled up right now up here is Husan Longstreet. Last night, guys, before the news even came out, if you watch my video, I said that Husan Longstreet is a big time guy that Lane wanted for this offense. And if we couldn't get Sam Levitt, we were going to pivot to Husan. Husan is currently on visit right now in Baton Rouge. He's currently, as we speak, at the women's basketball game against Texas, the number 2 team. Trying to get a commitment out of him. Man, that would be huge. That would be huge. Sam Levitt is currently flown home to Arizona, trying to decide where he wants to commit. Expect that announcement in the next 24 hours. Damon Wilson, from what I heard, is still on a visit to LSU. It was a multi-day visit that he arrived yesterday. But man, if we can get Husan, if we can get Damon Wilson, be huge. If we can get Ethan Fields or Winnie Watkins, even bigger. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Man, that would be huge for the program. And just leave your comments down below. I love answering y'all's comments. I practically answered every comment on the last video. But yeah, huge thanks to you guys. Just have a blessed rest of your day. And thank you. Peace.